This portion of the Max Level podcast is brought to you by TechniSport Gaming Chairs. Are you in need of a new chair for your office, studio, or gaming space? TechniSport is one of the leading manufacturers for gaming-related chairs. In fact, scholars have long debated the origins of the Pro Gamer series. The most common theory is that a mad scientist created the first prototype by crossing a racing car with a lazy boy. However, gamers claim to have known these creatures for thousands of years, and some streamers insist that they have always existed right here in cyberspace. Go to TechniSportUSA.com and use the offer code LDG to save 10% when making a purchase. Again, that's offer code LDG whenever you make a purchase at TechniSport Gaming Chairs, and you'll instantly save 10%. Remember, if you want to hear the Max Level podcast in its uncut entirety at 9 a.m. every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe on either iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. You're listening to the Max Level podcast for October 9th, 2018. On today's show, the crew goes in depth with Life is Strange 2 Episode 1, Mega Man 11, and Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. They discuss the news that Toys R Us may not be dead after all, try to figure out what Nintendo is planning with a Switch revision in 2019, and go over the announced BlizzCon 2018 schedule. All this in the usual segments on today's episode of the Max Level podcast. On with the show. Why are you bald?
Well, wow. You can't just ask that question.
I just did. Why are you bald?
Hey, Frank, did the chemo take? How about that?
Is that why you're bald? Is there something I don't know? Is there something I don't know?
It's all part of an excellent Halloween costume that'll hopefully play out here on Live It On Games.
Wait, is that true?
Absolutely.
You shaved your head for a Halloween costume?
I was going to get a haircut no matter what, but I went bald just I'm trying to get preparing for the Halloween costume.
Are you actually going to grow it back or no?
I'll keep it short.
But I mean, you're not going to stay like Mr. Clean bald for the rest of your life?
Maybe. You never know. I actually kind of like it. I'm getting some attention from the ladies.
But it's very shiny, dude. Like the light on your ceiling, it's like beaming off of your head.
Yes, because I beam with confidence. Okay, it's that BDE, everybody.
What's that stand for?
No, I can't say that.
If you didn't know, this is Max Level Video Game Podcast, found right here at Level Down Games. I'm Brian, joined as always by the self-proclaimed king of Long Island, Frank.
Hey guys.
Special shout out to Dance with the Dead for allowing us to use their music for our videos. Everyone absolutely needs to go check these guys out and support their music. They can be found on Bandcamp, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. Check them out. You will not be disappointed, and they are currently on tour if you want to see them live. Just remember, Max Level and Level Down Games is entirely self-funded as a passion project. If you'd like to see it continue to grow and become something even bigger, consider supporting us through one or all of the affiliate links listed in the description of this podcast. It would mean the absolute world to us. Apologies.
Give us your money.
Apologies for uploading a day late. Frank and I just could not get our schedules to align over the weekend. Obviously, with me for the haunted house season, it's tough. And then we both had a few other things going on in the real world where we just couldn't get our stuff aligned. So we're doing it Monday night. So this portion, part one of the podcast, will upload on YouTube on Tuesday, part two on Wednesday, and part three on Thursday. And I think it's just gonna be 3 parts this week. If you're listening on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, 9 a.m. Tuesday morning, entire show. Best place to listen to it. So.
Dude, this is Max Level 64, M64, baby.
Yeah, we're episode 64. You know, one of the greatest consoles ever, the Nintendo 64. Yeah, we are up to episode 64. We're doing really good. We're doing great. But that sound means we'll kick things off with some campaign games. We're going to do 3 games this week. There are a couple games that did come out, one in early access, one that we both did buy, but we haven't had a chance to play them yet. So those are going to be saved for next week's episode. We're going to focus on 3 games this episode. I want to kick things off with one that I put a lot of time into this past week, and that's Life is Strange 2 Episode 1, Roads. Now, I did record my entire playthrough of this episode, and I've been trying to put it up on the YouTube channel for the past 4 days. I'm having issues. The way I wanted to do it, I wanted to upload it as one entire thing. It's like it's over 3 hours. It's like 3 hours and 10 minutes long, I think was the actual time of the playthrough that I did. It's a long episode, and I'm pretty sure that all episodes are going to be about that length, which is actually good news for Life is Strange fans. So I wanted to put up as one episode, this one giant long Let's Play video. every time I try to process it through Premiere, I don't know if it's just my computer parts are still crapping out. Yes, I can make videos. I can do things. It's not as bad as it was. I'm not doing as much as I used to do on the computer. I'm not constantly streaming on Twitch or anything like that. And I'm not running as many videos anymore since we have scaled back our content a little bit and kind of focused in and dialed in on certain points to make it better. We're not trying to spread ourselves too thin anymore like we were doing there for a while. But I don't know if it's just the processor that I have is just not capable of doing something over a certain length. I don't know. Every time I try to run that video, it does stop at some point, whether it's right in the first 10 minutes, whether it gets up to 2 hours and 45 minutes and then it stops, which really pissed me off. It sucks because the way it works, it's a 3 hour, 10-minute video, whatever it is, it takes almost double that for me to process it through Premiere. So I can only try once per day because I can't time my computer for that long because I have other things to do and I have other work to do. But I will say that the episode is fantastic. If you're a fan of Life is Strange, you're really going to enjoy Life is Strange Season 2, at least from what I've seen so far with Episode 1. I'm very much invested in Sean and Daniel Diaz. I think that...
is that Max and Chloe?
No. It's Sean and Daniel. You knew that. It's the two brothers.
I'm kidding. I'm waiting to play this one. I just haven't had the time, but I'm absolutely getting this game, and you know it.
Yep. There are... When you start, now I don't know because I'm playing Life is Strange 2 on PC. Shout out to our friends over at Square Enix. They did provide us with a copy of the game so that I was able to play through it. I played Season 1 on PS4. I played Before the Storm and The Adventures of Captain Spirit on PC, which is why I decided to play Life is Strange 2 on PC. When I started the game, it asked me immediately, did you sacrifice Arcadia Bay in Season 1? I don't know if you play it.
Game saveable.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the only question it asked me. I don't know if you've played it, like, so if you play, because you played episode or Season 1 on PS4, right? So I'm assuming you're going to play Season 2 on PS4. Yes. You have to let me know if it asks the same question or if it just carries over. It does come into play. That choice comes into play in the very first episode.
How awesome is that? Okay, I'm glad.
Freaking cool. I was not expecting there to be any references or anything like that, and when there was, I was extremely happy.
I don't want you to spoil the game for me.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not. Same power.
Similar power.
Because we know he gets a power. That's part of the
similar power, but it's not rewinding time.
Cool.
Yeah, but and. It's interesting how the power even comes into play. So like, I'm playing through like the first 30, 45 minutes, really enjoying what's going on, getting ready to do one thing. Shit hits the fan, something changes, and then it's entirely a totally different story of what I was expecting it to be. It actually caught me off guard. I was actually pleasantly surprised because, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but when you do play the game, or if you're out there listening and you haven't played season or episode 1 of Life is Strange 2 yet, think smartly about what you take with you, because you don't know that you're taking it with you on a journey. You think you're taking it somewhere else. That's all I'll say. Because had I had different supplies, it would have been much better for my brother and I out there in the wild, as opposed to other supplies that I thought I was taking somewhere else.
So you're saying don't take food and water, take a gun. Gotcha.
No, take food, take appropriate food. And water would be good. Don't take beer. Because that's what I had in my backpack. And it was unfortunate. But, it's really, really well done. The characters that they introduce in episode 1, I'm excited to see if they... Because there's this one guy that you meet along the way, and he almost becomes like a brother, like an older brother or a father figure to the two boys, and he's really helping them out. And I really thought that was cool. And I hope that we see him again in the future, but it's almost like they already wrote him out. So I think this is, and what's cool about episode or season 2 is that there is significant gaps between each episode. So episode 1 takes place it's right around Halloween time. Episode 2 looks like it takes place in like the middle of winter. So based off of the
teaser. Is that going to be the release window too?
I don't know. Usually what they do with Life is Strange, it's not monthly like Telltale does. They usually do it every 2 or 3 months. So I don't know how they're going to do this here, which that could be it. Like if that's the case, it could be December or January till we're playing episode 2, but I don't have confirmation on that. But again, no, if you liked season 1, if you liked Before the Storm, if you liked The Adventures of Captain Spirit, you're really going to enjoy Life is Strange season 2. At least I did. I'm not going to do a video review. I'm going to do a written review on episode 1, but I'm still honestly trying to get that playthrough up. I think what I'm going to have to do is end up breaking it up into parts, even though it's something I didn't want to do. So I'm going to have to go in and edit out every part that I say that I'm not breaking it up. So I'm going to have to go in and do a little bit more edits than I thought I was going to have to do, figure out good places to cut, and then I'll put it up. I'm going to put up all parts at the same time though. So no matter how many parts I split it up into, if I split it up into 30-minute parts or just hour, maybe I'll just do hour increments. I
need you to do that, because even though I'm going to play it myself, I want to see your playthrough. Of course.
It's going to be totally different. I'll just do it in hour increments. I'll just do part 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to put them all up at the same time. I still need to do that with episode 4 of the Council, which I haven't even played yet. So I need to get time. I need to find time to do that sometime soon. But let's talk about a game that you and I have both played this past week. And that's Mega Man 11.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to let you kick things off because you are a much bigger Mega Man fan than I am. So how are you enjoying your time with Mega Man 11?
I had a rough start at it. Okay. It's Mega Man. It's hard.
Of course it is. Are you playing on the ultimate difficulty right off the bat?
Yeah, superhero.
Yeah. I'm on normal, so.
It's not much different. I've played them both already. It's a little harder.
I've even played on casual, and casual's not much different than normal, and like casual's even challenging.
You take more damage and there's more enemies, but it's nothing crazy.
Right.
Because this game has a system where you collect screws along the way, and the screws let you buy upgrades, and once you have the upgrades, the game becomes a cakewalk, at least in my opinion.
No, it does. But really, and that's where I struggled, because I started out with so many, I like flip flop between several different stages, like 3 or 4 different stages, trying to find one that I could get through. And I know there are certain ones that are easier than others. A lot of people think Blockman is really the easiest one because that was the one that was released in the demo. Theoretically, that's probably like the true starting boss you're supposed to start with.
They say it is. For me, that was the third to last one I played.
Really? Yeah, I know you said you started with Tundra Man.
I went Tundra, Fire, and I just followed the pattern from there.
Yeah, I did Block, Acid, then followed the pattern just like you did. But I mean, we just kind of like, you're going to eventually catch up to what I did. But yeah, Bounce Man would have been probably the second or third to last one that you would have done, or not Bounce Man.
It was the last two were Bounce Man and Fuse Man, because that's who's weak to the Bounce Man.
Yeah. But yeah, Bounce Man, that's the one I originally tried to start with, and it was difficult. It was very difficult for me with literally nothing. So I played for probably 3 or 4 hours, just flip-flopping different stages, trying to find one I could get through, collecting upgrades, not even realizing I could be buying upgrades. I was just collecting screws. So when I went back to Dr. Light's lab, and then I realized I could actually upgrade my stuff and get, I could buy up to 9 extra lives instead of having 5.
Yeah.
Or, buy the stuff to where I'm not slipping on ice in Tundra Man stage, or buy the thing that saves you if you fall in a pit once per level, or buy the things that, you won't instantly die if you hit spikes, or the one that auto charges the Mega Buster every single time you're not using it, so that every shot you take is basically a charge shot. Once I realized I could buy these upgrades, the game became a lot easier. So the first 3 to 4 hours, all I did was spend time collecting screws. After that, I literally bought everything at once because I had almost 10,000 screws. I was able to buy just everything right out the bat. And then I've now been cruising through the Robot Master stages. So I started with Blockman. I've successfully done Blockman, Acid Man, Impact Man, Bounce Man, Fuse Man, and Tundra Man. I have not finished Torch Man or Blast Man. I am still stuck on those 2 stages. And that's just game mechanics difficulty stuck.
If you haven't done it already, I'm going to offer you a pretty cool tip.
What's that?
Are the mini bosses messing you up along the way?
Bosses? No. The bosses have been fairly simple for me.
Because the mini bosses, just like the boss counterparts of the level, are weak to the weapon that you get. So there's that. And just buy all the upgrades. Just don't be afraid to use energy tanks. Don't be afraid to use weapon tanks.
The thing that's really messing with me.
Don't be afraid to fall because you have 3 of the guy pick you up movie.
The thing that really is messing me up with Torchman's stage is the scrolling fire. I can't outrun it most of the time.
Have you beaten Tundra Man?
I have beaten Tundra Man.
You could freeze the fire with this power.
No shit. So you can actually stop it from side scrolling?
for a little bit, giving you enough time. Plus, you can also use your speed gear to kind of go faster. So if you're there, you freeze it and you can keep going, and that should help you out.
I was definitely trying to. I was definitely using the gear to slow down the level so that way I could try to outrun it, and that does work. But there are times where you get stuck, or an enemy's blocking your path, and you have to shoot it, and the fire will catch up. But if I actually didn't, I've never tried to freeze the fire. That's actually smart. I didn't even think of that, so I will try that.
I figured it out by accident. So let my accident be your tip. Now you're gonna walk right through that level.
Yeah, no, I should be able to ease through that one. And then Blast Man, I keep making stupid, silly mistakes. So, but I think Blast Man is weak to Torchman's weapon. So I think So because those are the last two that I have.
So yeah, where I've beaten all the Robot Masters, and once you beat the Robot Masters, as typical Mega Man factions, not really a spoiler, you gotta go to Dr. Wily. Yeah. So Dr. Wily has 4 levels to get up to him, and I'm almost done with the first level. It is a shift in difficulty from hard to, oh my god, could they make this any harder?
Yeah.
I'm not having an easy go at it. Even stacking up full lives, it's difficult.
Do we know if there's going to be anything else after Wily?
There has to be something.
Isn't there usually 2 fortresses now for each Mega Man?
There used to be, but for some reason we're going straight to Wily. Maybe he's not the be all end all on this one. We don't know.
Maybe there's something different afterwards. I would hope so.
Also, there's other parts, upgrades, and things that just haven't been unlocked. And I've beaten all the Robot Masters.
Oh yeah, so you still have. I was going to ask you if you still had any question marks, because I still have like 4 or 5 question marks on my upgrades that I don't know how to unlock.
Maybe they're found
unless they're new game plus stuff. I don't know.
Or they're found in the levels and we didn't discover them. I didn't want to spoil anything for myself, so I didn't do that. I looked up what's weak to what, because I needed a little bit of help along the way.
I did too. I mean, I think that's something that everyone that plays Mega Man has to know. Like,
so that was my spoiler, but it didn't give away anything like storyline, if there is a storyline.
No, and I didn't look up how to beat any bosses. I just looked up, okay, this boss is weak to this weapon, so if I can get that weapon, that would be great.
I literally just found the order to take them in after I just blindly picked Tundra Man. That was the one I said. Like I just was like, yeah, this guy looks cool. He's sticking out of the freaking box. He must be a giant. Right. And he was a fun fight. He was very Brian Boitano.
Yeah, he was dude, I liked it because he was a nice ice figure skater, and he would just go around and go back and forth, and he would start jumping and doing pirouettes. I really enjoyed that fight. It was fun.
Whoa. Pirouettes? Those are triple Lutzes and South cows. Okay.
Sorry, whatever.
My mother didn't make me watch that nonsense for nothing.
But what's cool about it is that because he was weak to Fuse Man's weapon, you literally could just shock the ground and have the voltage travel around the perimeter of the screen. Oh. And because I know you did him first, but if you had done Fuse Man first, you shock the ground, the little voltages travel around the screen, and wherever he's at, it instantly hits him. So it actually made that fight trivial.
It wasn't trivial for me.
No.
And this is before I realized I could buy lives and stuff too. So
right.
Yeah, I had to get good.
Right, exactly. But I'm having fun though. It's a good Mega Man experience. It's not fantastic. It's not amazing, but it's a good Mega Man experience. It's definitely not the best Mega Man. No,
it's not. It's a good Mega Man. Very weird set of enemies and powers.
I enjoy the Robot Masters. I think they're good.
No, they're good, but they don't seem like they gel perfectly. Like they don't fit well.
The flow is not as fluid as it could have been.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to top Mega Man 2, but
and it's weird, but the music is not as strong as I was expecting it to be either.
Wait until you get to the first Wily level. I actually meant to message you. It's like, dude. Okay,
is it good there? Because like there's like I think there's probably 2 Robot Master stages that I would say, okay, this is good. Like there's 2 of the 8 had good music. The other 6 were just kind of meh, but I guess that's kind of the way it is in Mega Man anyway. Like not every Robot Master has fantastic music except for like Mega Man 2. But
I'm actually contemplating switching one up for our next Mega Man episode.
Yeah, and I mentioned we were going to do that, so I've been kind of paying close attention to the music in the game to see if there's any changes I wanted to make for next week's episode of BG Mania. Which, if you aren't aware, last week we did episode part 1 of Mega Man. This week we're doing music based on Pirates, and next week we're going to be doing part 2 for Mega Man. So if you don't subscribe to that, go jump over to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, subscribe to BG Mania. It's our video game music podcast, which uploads every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It's good stuff. The pirate one's going to be a fun episode. That's going to be good.
Yar.
Did you want to say anything else about Mega Man before we move on, though?
No, but I'm fingers crossed going to have this beaten by next episode of Max Level.
Oh yeah, I think that's a fair assumption for both of us.
If it's feasibly possible, because I am not having a good time at trying to beat these levels so far.
Yeah, I think I will definitely be putting some more time into it this week too.
If possible, I need to drop down a level of difficulty.
Just down to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I should have the game finished by this week as well, because there's a lot of things I want to get through right now. I want to finish the next game I want to talk about too as we finish out campaign games. I've been playing a lot of Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, and I've even started to write my review on this game, and I am having an absolute blast with this. Now, this is made by the same creators as Yakuza, so it's that studio. So this is basically Yakuza meets Mad Max, and the imagery used in this is so good. Like, you know, when you picture Mad Max, you have this wasteland, very cloudy, very dusty, very apocalyptic. And you think, you know, massive vehicles spitting fire and people swinging back and forth in these over the top costumes. Yeah, over the top costumes. And that's what Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise is. So you have your main character, and he's fighting against these groups of enemies that are basically straight from the Mad Max universe, but they're really not. I mean, they're part of this universe, but it's just the way that it's being done is it seems very much like Mad Max, so much so that I've even had to capture a lot of the stuff that's been going on, just because I think that it so closely resembles a Mad Max that I think it's freaking hilarious, dude. But yeah, it's this post-apocalyptic alternate timeline of Earth. And there was this nuclear war that went down, and now Kenshiro, the protagonist, and he's the one that is the Hokuto Shinken is the name of the martial art that he's specializes in.
So they kept that from the anime. Okay.
Yeah. It's kept from the anime, and you know, if you're familiar with the manga, Hokuto Shinken, it's like a pressure point style of martial art, to where you target these certain things and it causes basically your internal organs to either shut down or explode. Or the game is very bloody. The game is very gory. That's why
the 5-point heart exploding technique from Kill Bill Volume 2.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it is. And there's these different things that you can do, and you know, these different abilities that you can do, and you can just watch their heads explode or watch their bodies explode. It's really cool. I really do like it. But you know, he is going through this story because he is trying to find his fiancée, Yuria, who he believes was kidnapped. And as you're traveling through these different chapters, I think there's like 11 or 12 chapters, and I'm on chapter 7. So I am over halfway done. I'm trying to plug away, trying to finish this so I can get the review up. Getting behind again. I think I'm approaching close to 20 or 21 reviews that I still need to get done again. I was in the single digits, but I'm back up to the double digits now. I was in single digits for a while. But I'm really enjoying it. So it takes the best of like what makes Fist of the North Star from the anime, and then it takes the best of what is good about Yakuza. So the combat, the fighting, the walking around a city, and what you're walking on in Lost Paradise is Eden, this city of miracles, or so it's called. And it's this giant city that has all the gas and all the food that you can ever need in this post-apocalyptic world.
Side games and stuff like the Yakuza or not?
A lot of 80 plus side missions.
Nice.
80 plus side missions. You can actually be a bartender. You can go to a casino. You can do these racing things. You can go out and play baseball with Mad Max characters. So like, you know, Kenshiro goes out and stands at home plate. And he picks up a giant metal beam. And then these characters come at you on their motorcycles, and that's the baseball. So you're swinging this giant beam at the motorcycles and the characters, and you're trying to set like high scores on different difficulties. You know, dude, it's hilarious. Like it's very tongue in cheek. It's very fun. I'm really having a lot of fun with it. It's good, man. And it's just cool because the Yakuza studio knows how to make addictive games. They do.
Now here's my big question.
What's that?
The music we heard from the trailer.
Yes.
Does that kind of music persist through the game?
It's the only song in the game.
It's the only song in the game. Okay.
I mean, it's very apocalyptic from like, in terms of a soundtrack standpoint. When you're out there,
Fallout only had like 4 or 5 songs.
When you're out there driving around in the wasteland, you can play that song, but that's the only song that sounds like that song.
Okay.
So, but it's still cool to hear it, but it does get old after like the 30th or 40th time, or even after like the 5th time. I was kind of hoping for more of a metal soundtrack like throughout. I thought that's how it was going to be. And again, it is like when you're fighting, you do have like generic type metal music playing, but the one licensed track that we heard in the trailer, it's there, but that's pretty much the only one that's like that. But it's a good game. I will have a review up for this at some point here in the near future. I can't even promise when anymore. I will have it done at some point in the near future. Toasty! Let's go ahead and move into tasty treats though. Did you play anything else this week?
The only other game I played, we'll talk about next level.
Okay.
If you want to mention it, I don't know if you want to mention it.
Super Mario Party, I'm assuming is what you're talking about.
Yeah. I got Mario Party. It was actually it was my buddy's birthday, so I bought him a copy as well. So we haven't yet, but we will before the episode play with 2 Switches. Yeah,
that's why we're waiting, because I know we want to talk about that. So you haven't had a chance to do that yet, and I even I've only had a chance to turn it on and check out the first board. I am a little disappointed to find out there's only 4 boards and they're not even that big. So that's one thing that I think is a huge negative, but we'll jump into more of that next week, because that is going to be one of our campaign games alongside WWE 2K19 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I think will be the 3 campaigns games for next week. I've had a chance to play 3 additional games this week besides what I've already talked about. So I played 6 games this week.
Wow.
I put some more time into Dragon Quest XI. I am now in Act 2. I am approaching the end of the main game. Really having a lot of fun with it.
2 acts?
There's 3 acts. So there's 2 acts. So the way this works, there's Act 1, Act 2, credits roll. Act 3 is still part of the main story, but it takes place after the credits. Act 3 is also where you have all your post-game stuff, all your stuff that takes place after that. And then there's more credits after Act 3. So,
okay.
So that's pretty much how the game is split up. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, I'm approaching the end of Act 2. So I will be getting to see the initial credits, and I'll be moving into Act 3, which is another 20 to 30 hours, if I'm not mistaken, in Act 3 alone. So it's pretty massive. Still having a lot of fun doing that, though. Still really enjoying my time with Dragon Quest XI. And I'm also still enjoying my time with Valkyria Chronicles 4, which I'm almost at the end of that game, too.
I thought you beat that. Okay.
I haven't beat it yet. I'm in chapter 9, I want to say. I think I'm in chapter 9. So I'm getting close to the end of that one as well. Just having an absolute joy with this one. I'm not going to talk about it much just because I've already kind of beaten that horse, and I want to save some stuff for the review. But hoping to get those 2 done at some point here in the near future as well. And then I put some more time into, which I haven't done in a few weeks. I did play a little bit of World of Warcraft this past week. I got my Death Knight up to 107. So we're getting there.
Yeah, almost there.
I went from 104 to 107 this week. I spent about 4 hours one day just plugging away at Warcraft when I was doing some other things. Gained 3 levels that day. I'm hoping to be 110 by this week, end of this week or next week, and then I could start working on the content that's current for Battle for Azeroth, because 7.1 is getting closer. I have a feeling that we'll find out at BlizzCon, or not, I'm sorry, 8.1, but I have a feeling we're going to find out at BlizzCon here in just under a month when 8.1 is going to be coming out. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's even next month. So I want to definitely try to get my character good to go and still get through the initial stuff that was in this patch before the next patch comes out. So that's what I've been doing. But I think we'll go ahead, dude. I think it's time that we move into the Weekly Soup News Report. And we have 11 items to talk about this week. And as always, we'll kick things off with game announcements. We have a couple to talk about. This one here, it's funny because there's always so many compilations on these. But
Jesus Christ, man.
So Square Enix...
What is this version? 2.99999 repeating?
It may as well be. Because it is called Kingdom Hearts, The Story So Far. It's a compilation of 9 chapters of the Kingdom Hearts series for PS4, launching later this month on October 30th for $40. It's only going to be $40. So it's going to come with Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, which includes Kingdom Hearts Final Remix, Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 358.5 Days, the HD Remastered Cinematics, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, and Kingdom Hearts Recoded, the HD Remastered Cinematics. And it also comes with Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which includes Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep A Fragmentary Passage, and Kingdom Hearts X back cover, just the movie. This is the ultimate collection. If you don't have these yet, and specifically if you don't have any of these yet, this is only $40. It's worth buying before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
I'm actually upset.
I swear to God, if they put one more of these things out,
they can't. There's no more Kingdom Hearts.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
The only time they can is after Kingdom Hearts 3 releases, and then they will.
is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 Super. Like, they're following Capcom here.
Yeah, no. They literally can't. This is everything Kingdom Hearts has been released so far, including base games, remastered games, or remixed games, and compilation games. So I'm actually really upset that I have, because I have all three of these. I have 1.5 remix, I have 2.5 remix, and I have 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. If I would have just waited, I could have bought the entire thing on one disc for $40. Instead, I spent.
This is a single disc?
This is a single disc.
Nuts.
And I'm pretty sure it's a single disc. I really don't know. That could be I could be misspeaking there. But even if it's not, that's 3 discs in one box for $40, where I paid 50. I paid 50 a piece. So 150, you know, I overpaid by $110. So it kind of really does suck.
Damn you, Square Enix.
But yeah, anyone that doesn't have this yet and that wants to catch up on Kingdom Hearts before Kingdom Hearts 3 in January, no brainer, buy this game. Publisher Sodesco and developer 3D Clouds have announced Xenon Racer, an arcade racing game set in the year 2030. It will be released both physically and digitally for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. A release date was not yet announced. In an era of flying vehicles, a last one-off championship for traditional wheeled vehicles has been organized, with cutting-edge electric cars boosted by xenon gas. Rushing through treacherous turns as bright neon lights flash by, players drift through the futuristic streets of cities like Tokyo and Dubai. Resisting massive G-forces, they'll have to demand the utmost of technology to race at breakneck speeds in the pursuit of eternal victory. It's very... I mean, it's a typical racer, just like that. I mean, it's very F-Zero. It looks great. It's very F-Zero. It's very Wipeout. You're just not hovering. You are on wheels. So this is a futuristic racing game, and it's the last racing tournament on wheels. So I'm assuming at this point, yeah, because they're saying in an era of flying vehicles, but they're having one last hurrah, blast from the past. You're on wheels, but you're powered by xenon gas. It's actually a cool concept. I really do like that. I do want to check this game out. I watched the trailer. I love the art style that they're using here, the neon lights, especially when it shifts from day to night, how cool things look. It looks like a good game. I want to check this out. It's going to be something that I play in the future. We'll skip over sales and revenue. We'll jump to teases and leak. We have 2 things to talk about here. The first one's a big one. A 1-minute video of an alleged Harry Potter open world action RPG currently in development has surfaced online. This footage was posted on Reddit by a user by the name of Vape This Bro, who claimed the footage was recorded during a focus test. While cameras and phones were not permitted, the user said he was never checked or given a NDA, non-disclosure agreement, to sign, so he was able to put this up. And this is the fact sheet that was provided. Set in the 19th century, so the 1800s, of the wizarding world, this third-person open-world action RPG game centers around your character with unique abilities who has earned a late acceptance into Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You are a newly arrived 5th-year student to Hogwarts that demonstrates a latent gift for magic with a unique ability to track and identify remnants of a potent ancient power. Upon arrival, strange events begin to materialize in the Forbidden Forest, and trouble begins to brew within the castle walls. Together with Professor Eliza Figg, you embark on a journey through both familiar and never-before-seen locations to bring to light the truth behind these mysterious occurrences. On your quest, you will craft potions, master new spells, and discover fantastical beasts, and possibly where to find them. You will battle dark wizards, goblins, and other supernatural enemies and uncover the truth about your destiny. The fate of the wizarding world lies in your hands. Back in April 2017, Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment was seeking senior writers with a deep understanding of British culture and grammatical presentation for its Avalanche software studio, suggesting that Disney Infinity developer was working on a Harry Potter title. And basically, Eurogamer has since reported that sources with knowledge of the project have confirmed to Eurogamer that the project is indeed real and it is currently in development. But even more has surfaced since then. This is a next generation title. This is a PS5 Xbox Scarlet title.
I don't want to wait. I want to play this now.
I do too. This is 2020, 2021 type of a game. If you watch the trailer, like watch the leaked footage, if you had a chance to before it was all taken down online.
Yeah, Warner Bros. Took it down.
But if you had a chance to watch it before it was taken down, that was your first look at what Warner Bros. Interactive and Avalanche is targeting for next generation specifications on PS5 and Xbox Scarlet.
It looked absolutely stunning.
No. It looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. It looks fantastic. So that should have been our first look at a next gen title. So that, and the fact that these games are that far into development for next gen, I think is even potential more proof that somebody's launching next year, if not both of them. whether it's just Xbox or whether it's both Xbox and PlayStation 5, somebody's launching next year.
You think this is by PC then, from what we're saying?
Probably. It's 1000% being developed on PC, but it's using specifications that would be able to be easily transferred to either PS5 and Xbox Scarlet. But yeah, most definitely being done on PC to start with.
So real talk. What house are you getting started into?
I don't know, and I hope that they don't let you choose. I hope that it's something, whether I don't want it to be random, but I hope that there has to be, like, I hope that there's something that, whether it's like a personality test or whether it's questions that you answer, and much like with Animal Crossing, whether it's questions that you answer, I hope something dictates which house you get sorted into.
Okay, because your boy here is Slytherin all the way.
Well, I wouldn't want to be the same as you, but I probably would have picked Slytherin as well.
Well, it's the best house, the most powerful house. I will be a Death Eater.
Guess I'd have to go Hufflepuff then.
You seem like a Hufflepuff.
Our last tease and leak this week, though, multiplayer game developers are preparing for PlayStation Network username changes to come soon. 3 people at different game studios have since confirmed to Kotaku. The developers said that in recent months, they have been fixing bugs and tweaking settings to ensure that their games are compatible with Sony's plans. A 4th person who works for a game studio shared an image from internal Sony documentation of a PlayStation Network profile containing an edit username option. The documentation was said to be a guide for changing one's PlayStation Network username. A time frame for the feature's implementation is unknown. The developers suggested that due to PlayStation Network usernames linking your account ID to your username rather than a universally unique identifier, retroactively fixing old multiplayer games might be time-consuming and difficult. Sony, of course, did not respond for comment. Whether this is announced at PlayStation meeting next year, if they announce the PlayStation 5 next year, or just held off for a major announcement later at some point, at least we know it's happening now. They're preparing for it. This is going to be a feature sometime in the next few years, so that's a good thing.
Please.
Yeah, no, I want to get, I've had Brew_Seeker for the longest time. I mean, it's the first thing I did. That was my Warcraft character name from back in 2009. I've been using that. I used it for the longest time, but I don't use it anymore. But when I got my PS3, that's what I picked. I want to just be Brian LDG, which is where I am everywhere now.
I want to go the Frankosaurus. I just want to tie all my accounts together, one name across the board.
Yeah. Or you could just be Bald Man now.
Really?
Baldosaurus.
Okay. Okay. This is pure sexual delight for the ladies. Okay.
As you blind them, so they don't have to see your face, because that's why it's exciting. Skipping over DLC related news, skipping over delays, we'll go to random news. We have 7 more things to talk about. This one here is interesting.
The best news.
This one here is really interesting. So Toys R Us is potentially going to remain alive in some capacity. Whether that means strictly online, I have no idea. But they made a shocking announcement earlier this year that it would close 800 stores and lay off 33,000 employees as part of a bankruptcy proceedings in the wake of devastating holiday 2017 sales. This article comes from GameSpot.com, by the way. But now it appears that Toys R Us and its related brands may live on in some fashion. The same hedge fund groups that controlled Toys R Us and decided to cancel a reorganization that led to the major changes. Sorry, I got confused there for a second. Have now apparently decided to cancel the bankruptcy and attempt to revive Toys R Us and its brands. The Wall Street Journal reports that Toys R Us said in court documents that this week it has received bids for the Toys R Us, Babies R Us, and Jeffrey the Giraffe brand names, but it decided that the bids would not be able to yield a superior alternative. Instead, the new Toys R Us owners are looking to create a new branding company that maintains existing global license agreements and can invest in and create new domestic retail operating businesses. I don't know what this means. I have no idea what this could potentially mean.
It's more than likely going to be a shift to online, maybe a few pop-up stores, at least the way I'm reading into it. But I think the cool thing is what they're doing for the employees. Like that's, I don't know if you've read about that.
Yeah, so whether they're going to create that $20 million fund to give affected employees the severance that they weren't able to give originally.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it should have been done, you know? Because this happened suddenly. No.
It was definitely very sudden, for sure.
I know they dragged it over a few months, but still, you know, that's
right.
It was livelihood. You know, people made a career out of Toys R Us.
Right.
I would love for them to go back to having brick and mortar stores, but we've mentioned this time and time again. Mm-hmm. It's not sustainable.
No.
But maybe a smaller presence in the malls.
Maybe something. I don't know, man. Malls are dying too, though.
I know, but it's so hard to buy toys other than going to like the aisles of Walmart.
Well, how is it still looking for KB Toys, which is trying to make a comeback by this holiday season?
We haven't heard any rumblings from them, but they said they want to do the same thing. I mean,
yeah,
you know, me, I'm constantly looking to buy toys for my nieces because I'm the kind of uncle who likes to spoil them.
Right.
The selections at Walmart are pretty slim.
Right. And I mean, there's always Amazon, though. I mean, Amazon has everything.
That's what they're doing, you know. But I do actually like to pick things up to see, like, hey, would they like this? Would this be safe for them? Is it soft? You know, these things, you actually do want to touch the toy,
right?
In a sense,
right. No, so we'll have to see what this potentially means. I don't know exactly. I'm really hoping it doesn't mean that they try to come back in full force with retail stores, because I think that would just lead to their demise again. I don't think they should do that. There's a reason they went bankrupt in the first place. But whether it's just a few stores here and there, maybe like the major cities, maybe put one in New York City, put one in LA, put one in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just and the one in Vegas has to be on the Strip, not somewhere else. But, you know, you'd want to put one on the Strip, one somewhere in downtown LA, one in like Times Square next to the Nintendo store or something. Like you would want to put them in these major traffic hubs where, you know, the stores are going to do well, so they bring in money, and then everything else is just done online. It might be the best way to go. I would think for them. Some interesting news popped up though this past week that I really thought was crazy. Mike Morhaime stepped down as president of Blizzard Entertainment.
Any reason?
I think he's now going to become a strategic advisor for the company. He just wants to spend more time with his family, from what I understand. But yeah, You make sure you get Diablo to me first, then you play your little games of moving around, okay? It's coming, dude. But yeah, Activision Blizzard has announced the appointment of Blizzard veteran and World of Warcraft executive producer J. Allen Brack as the new president of Blizzard Entertainment. Brack succeeds co-founder Mike Morhaime, who has stepped down and will remain a strategic advisor to the company. J. Allen Brack's a fantastic dude. He's always there at BlizzCon. He's always the one that's on stage. Super, super nice guy. I did have a chance to meet him actually once in the past when I went to BlizzCon. Like, he was one of the ones that I actually did get to meet. Really nice, really knows what he's doing. Blizzard Entertainment is still in good hands. So.
I don't want to talk out of turn here, but didn't their last president just step down like a little while ago?
No, Mike Morhaime has been the president of Blizzard since the beginning.
Are you sure?
Yep.
All right, maybe I'm crazy.
Yep.
Let's not rule out crazy.
Yeah, Chris Metzen left the company, who was another co-founder, but he was like a game designer developer still. But he left Blizzard 2 years ago to spend time with family as well. Yeah, and he's not doing anything anymore. Like, he's not even in the industry anymore. But he was the one that was the voice of Thrall and was very much responsible for the success that Blizzard had. Chris Metzen left as well. So it's weird that now both Metzen's gone, Mike Morhaime's not in control anymore. But I'm not worried. J. Allen Brack knows exactly what he's doing. And he did say that there would be several surprises for BlizzCon next month.
Diablo.
It's without question Diablo. It is. And we'll talk about why when we get into a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
The next thing that we're going to talk about here, Cyberpunk 2077, is going to be distributed by Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, speaking of them earlier with Harry Potter, in North America. Which I think is actually kind of neat. So yeah, CD Projekt Red announced that they had struck up a partnership with Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment to help handle the distribution and promotion of Cyberpunk 2077 when it does release.
Aren't they working? Isn't WB working on the show though as well for The Witcher?
Are they? I have no idea.
There's live action Witcher shows coming out, if I'm not mistaken.
It's coming to Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. I think Warner Brothers might be behind that.
I don't know.
Like working with no.
I would think it was just Netflix that would be behind that, but I don't know.
I know nothing.
I know.
I say things. I throw it out into the ether, and if I'm right, I get to say, "Oh, I told you so." Months down the line.
Usually you're wrong, though. Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea if they are or not. But I do think it's cool that Warner Brothers is going to be helping distribute the Cyberpunk 2077, because CD Projekt Red can't do it on their own. They can't. No. It's just not possible because it's too much money.
Powerhouse, so more people playing this game, the better.
Yeah, and they have the money to do it, so they definitely have the money to do it. Next up,
you said this game's not coming out until like
2020-ish,
75,
something like that. Yeah, 2077 more likely. Well, it'll launch the same year that the name of the game. More realistically, like 2020, 2021.
Still coming out before Final Fantasy VII remake.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't know. But Assassin's Creed Odyssey is now available, and we did find out how long the game actually is. And we found out that it actually clocks in over 50 hours, which is massive for an Assassin's Creed game. So according to this article on GameSpot, that is just the main story in 50 hours. So that this is very much going for that RPG feel, which Odyssey is definitely trying to take a step up from what Origin did last year. And they did say that's without hitting every single island and side mission. So there's a ton of stuff that they didn't do without that 50 hours.
It's 50 hours without getting all the power moons and throwing your hat and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's without getting all 999. And I actually I watched a video where there's actually 2,000 some power moons in Super Mario Odyssey, because you can buy a certain number of moons from every shop on every planet. And actually, if you calculate it, but only the first one counts. But if you keep buying them, you can actually get like 2,000 some freaking power moons in the Super Mario Odyssey. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, over 50 hours for the main story alone. So this game is freaking massive. How about this one here, though? Red Dead Redemption 2 NPCs will judge you for being too dirty or too clean. I actually think this is really cool.
How freaking awesome is that?
Yeah, I think this is really freaking cool. So Rockstar Games is touting a more dynamic game that pays close attention to your behavior and reacts accordingly. However, it's not just monitoring whether you're being nice to the people around you and abstaining from robbing banks and holding up trains. It's also considering how you look and smell. Being an outlaw is dirty work. All that robbing, killing, and generally getting up to no good gets the sweat glands pumping and Wild West body funk going. Again, this article is from GameSpot.com, not my own words. And since it can be difficult for cowboys and outlaws to find some time for self-care, it's also easy to let your body hair get a bit out of hand. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2, it's important to ensure that Arthur Morgan is kept prim and proper. If you don't bathe regularly and shave, other members of the Vanderlyn gang will call you out on it, even going so far as to take you to one side and stage an intervention. Characters in the world will also react to your poor personal hygiene, opting to give you a wide berth if you're stinking up the streets. Those you actively engage with may have different dialogue options that treat your disheveled Arthur in a less than kind way. So there's a fine balance. You don't want to look too good, but you don't want to look like shit as well. I actually think that's really neat. And I don't think that's been done before. At least to my knowledge, I don't think anyone's done that before. So that's actually really, really cool. Can't wait to check that out. We got some good news. Skybound Games.
Great news.
Yeah, Skybound Games has taken ownership and will finish the development of The Walking Dead: The Telltale Series, the final season. The company announced at New York Comic Con 2018. The company will work with members of the original team from Telltale Games to finish the story in a way that fans deserve. If you, obviously we know Telltale Games shut down. I looked into Skybound a little bit because I wasn't familiar with the name. No big games under their name. Like, this is going to be the first thing that they really take control of that is a big game. They have a lot of smaller games, but nothing that it really has ever caught on for them. So good for them for putting forth the money and helping them out. It's mutually
beneficial. It's going to boost their name, and it's going to give us the game.
Exactly. And they did say that they would look to hire several members from the original team to help out with this. So some people from Telltale are actually going to get employed out of this as well, which is really, really cool. The last thing we found out this week, The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2 is the PlayStation 4 versions that were released recently in Japan. They are coming to North America sometime in early 2019, thanks to Xseed Games. And for the first time in the series history, dual audio will be included with both of these versions. So you'll be able to listen in English and Japanese, which is actually really neat. Each game will be available for $50 a piece. I probably will end up buying these just because I want them on PS4 as well. I mean, yeah, I have them on PC. I have them on PS3. I have one on PS3. I have one on Vita. I want these on PS4. Let's be real. So, because I mean, Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 are going to be on PS4. So I want this on PlayStation 4. Who are we kidding? We only have one release date this week. Only one thing really got announced as the release date this week. The Quiet Man from Square Enix is going to be launching on November 1st, and the game is only $15. That's the one that was announced at their E3 press conference. It's very much like a live action movie almost.
Is the full motion video thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's only $15, so it's not a full price game. $15 means I'll probably check it out. If this was like a $30, $40 game, this would have been a hard pass.
I was interested in this one just from watching it, like in general, because it looked good.
I wasn't because it looked. I think it looks. Right, I think it looks silly. Right. It looks silly.
I remember I was excited, and you're like, no, I don't want this.
This looks silly to me. This looks really silly. But for $15, I'd be willing to check it out for $15. Anything more than that, I think, even if it was 20, well, 20, I'd probably pay it for as well. 30 and up, this would have been a hard pass for me. But that's still over. Well, that's actually under a month away. We're about 3 weeks away from that, November 1st. let's talk about what's releasing this week and the new releases for the week. We'll skip over Monday, October 8th, which was actually yesterday. We'll start with today, Tuesday, October 9th. A couple things coming out. First one coming to Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, Disgaea 1 Complete. To celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Disgaea series, the groundbreaking game that started it all returns for modern consoles in beautiful HD. Relive the expanded adventures of Laurel, Etna, and Flan in Disgaea 1 Complete. Never played Disgaea 1, so I may actually check this out eventually. I've played Disgaea 3, 4, and 5, and they were good games, but I've never played 1 or 2, so I might check this out eventually. The next game coming out today for Nintendo Switch, Goosebumps, the game. The walk home, this doesn't look good, dude. The walk home from school, look it up. The walk home from school today is going to be a lot spookier than usual. Your sleepy neighborhood's been overrun by monsters. Werewolves prowl the woods, gnomes roam underfoot, and scarecrows walk at midnight. But these aren't ordinary monsters. They're R.L. Stein's famous Goosebumps monsters, released from their books and looking to wreak havoc. You'll need to use your wits to investigate the surroundings, puzzle out clues, and outsmart the monsters before it's too late. Survive a trek through your neighborhood, unravel the mysteries of the dead house, and sneak through the mall after hours. Only then can you confront Slappy and stop his plans for revenge.
I want to pause for just half a second here. The original Goosebumps game on the PC was absolutely phenomenal.
Sure. This one does not look good.
It starred Jeff Goldblum as Count Dracula. This looks like shit.
I know it does. I told you it did.
That's why when you said Goosebumps the game, I went, ooh, because like I thought it'd be
like a port or something from the PC one. But yeah, no. This is a new game that looks like crap. No, it doesn't look good. A hard pass for me. The next game coming out today to PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, Mark of the Ninja Remastered. Mark of the Ninja was a good game. In Mark of the Ninja Remastered, you'll know what it is to truly be a ninja. You must be silent, agile, and clever to outwit your opponents in a world of gorgeous scenery and flowing animation. Marked with cursed tattoos giving you heightened senses, every situation presents you with options. So I may check this out eventually. Probably not right away, but this is definitely a fun game. And the last one coming out today to PC, PS4, Xbox One. It came out last week if you had it pre-ordered, certain versions of the game. WWE 2K19. WWE 2K19 arrives as the latest entry to the flagship WWE video game franchise and features cover superstar AJ Styles. WWE 2K19 will showcase a massive roster of popular WWE superstars, legends, and Hall of Famers, as well as NXT favorites. Experience authentic WWE gameplay, extensive creation options, engaging match types, fan favorite modes, and more. Are you going to buy this one?
Nah, I'm going to skip it this year.
Are you going to skip it this year? Are you going to rent it, or are you just completely skipping it?
No, I will rent it because I do want to check out because they have some cool looking things, but it's not enough for me to buy it every year.
No, and that's how I feel like with Madden, with NBA, with all these games now. There just isn't enough incentive there to purchase it every single year anymore. Every 2 to 3, I think every 3 years is ideal for me. That's usually what I do with basketball games, every 3 years. I mean,
2K18 had pretty much the full roster.
Right.
What could you possibly add to this game that would make me want to play it?
I think they have, what is it, the Daniel Bryan story mode, I think is in 2K19, I think is what it is.
And Big Head mode.
Well, you have that now.
Look, you gotta stop, okay? I did this for a noble cause.
We'll skip over tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Nothing releasing those 2 days. We'll move on to Friday, October 12th. We have a couple more games coming out. First one coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Next.
Black Ops is back, featuring gritty, grounded multiplayer combat, and that's the only combat, no single-player combat. The biggest zombies offering ever, with 3 full undead adventures at launch, and Blackout, where the universe of Black Ops comes to life in a massive battle royale experience. Blackout features the largest map in Call of Duty history, signature Black Ops combat, and characters, locations, and weapons from the Black Ops series. But yeah, no single-player campaign, which means no me playing Call of Duty this year. Yep.
I could care less about Call of Duty now. They broke my heart.
Yep. I'm completely skipping it. Yeah. I am 1,000%. And I told you that I would not play Black Ops. You're like, yes, you will. I'm not playing Black Ops 4. Will not play this. But I will check out Battlefield 5 next month, even though I've heard some pretty negative things about that one, too. Next up, this Friday, coming to Nintendo 3DS, Luigi's Mansion Ghosts. Time to suck those suckers up. Suck those suckers up, man. Good choice of words there.
How many times have you said that sentence, Brian?
Time to suck those suckers up, because Luigi is back in the first portable version of the spooky classic. After winning a mansion in a contest he didn't enter, he must beat its many bosses and puzzles. Follow a map on the touchscreen, shine a flashlight, blow fire, shoot water, stun ghosts, and trap them before Mario is trapped forever. All this ghost-catching tomfoolery pays off. As you suck them up with your Poltergust 3000, you could also rake in millions in hidden in-game riches for our hard luck hero. Make sure to search every area using the Game Boy Horrors map on your touchscreen and activate its boo radar to track down every boo in the mansion or spot ghosts' weak points. After beating and capturing boss ghosts, you can select their portraits from the gallery to best your own score in tense rematches, a new feature in the Nintendo 3DS version. And we did find out that there is multiplayer as well in the latest Nintendo Nintendo Direct, so that's actually really neat. Are you going to buy this one?
There's like a 90% chance that I pick this up right away. If not, down the line.
Yeah, same for me. Like, I really do want to play this again on 3DS, but I just don't know that it'll be right away. The last game coming out this week on Friday, coming to Nintendo Switch, The World Ends With You Final Remix. Complete the mission or face erasure. That's all Nico knows after regaining consciousness in the middle of a busy intersection without his memories. Now he and his partner must fight to survive a life or death game in this twisted tale with more turns than the urban labyrinth of Tokyo they're trapped in. This definitive version of Square Enix's RPG classic brings back the dark story to life. Sorry, not back, brings the dark story to life on the Nintendo Switch system, along with an extra chapter, exclusive 2-player combat, and some killer new remixed music. Oh yes! In the crowded chaos of Tokyo, players of the Reaper's game must complete daily missions or face total erasure. Nico might not be enthusiastic about forging relationships, but with his very life on the line, he'll need to learn how to work together with a partner and fast. They only have 7 days. Gear up with stat-enhancing threads and collect mysterious pins to unleash psychic abilities in battle. Take control of real-time action-fueled RPG battles using touch controls or Joy-Con controls. With new features in addition to all the content from the Nintendo DS and mobile versions, the definitive version of this modern classic is finally here.
And I want to thank Square Enix for sending us a copy of this game to play.
They didn't, though.
No, that's why I wanted to thank them, but they didn't send it to me, so I won't.
Pick of the week this week. What are you going with?
Luigi's Mansion.
Okay. I'm going to go final remix of The World Ends With You. So same day, same Friday. This, you know, the pick of the week is definitely this Friday because I think between WWE Mark of the Ninja, Goosebumps, and Disgaea 1, Tuesday's kind of lackluster. Friday's definitely the day of the week this week. Even though we make fun of Black Ops, it's going to sell millions. And then Luigi's Mansion is going to be good. The World Ends With You is going to be good. But for you, it's Luigi's Mansion. For me, it's The World Ends With You final remix. But you know what that sound means? That sound means it's time for a little Kickstart My Heart. And I found this one here. And the reason why I put this in here is because it said NES in the title. So it says here, find some flannel and bring your adrenaline for razor sharp action. Indulge in dynamic gameplay, smack talking timber beasts, and mayo. The game is called Log Jammers, axe throwing action on NES, PC, and Nintendo Switch. The NES cartridge is a lime green as well, like Ghostbusters green. Log Jammers is a competitive arcade sports game featuring axe-throwing, blade-catching action with a retro vibe in the vein of Windjammers. Unique character abilities, funky arenas, and trash-talking timber beasts will keep you chopping. NES and PC are ready for play, and meeting our Kickstarter goal is how they'll be funding all the console ports and finishing touches. They've set up tournaments with their friends in the Windjammers community to fine-tune the gameplay, and they want to get this feedback in. Backers will be added to the credits for the part they played in making Log Jammers the absolute best it can be. So what this is, slam your axe into your opponent's goal in fast-paced blade-tossing carnage. Activate power-ups to set your blade ablaze or cover your opponent in slippery oil. Grab the star to unleash each character's unique special throw. Choose a timber beast with a level of speed, technique, and swollenness that suits your playstyle. Jam out in funky arenas like a mayonnaise factory spill, 80s hell, and a peaceful beaver pond. Get to know colorful characters like Bruiser Bogardus, the strongman who makes exercise equipment out of wood, or the mayonnaise monsoon, a bloated corpse who died in an industrial condiment accident. Revel in victory as your lumberjack trash talks your vanquished opponent. A physical cartridge NES version for hardcore fans and retro enthusiasts is also available. Amp up the body count in cheerleader mode. Perfect for old Frank over there. Ready to jam. Do you want competition or do you demand it? Get ready for lightning fast, razor sharp axe throwing action. Think you are as hard as wood? You'd better be, because these jammers are tough and the smack talking never stops. Stop it. Catching an axe is child's play.
Ladies.
Catching an axe is child's play, but catching a flaming blade thrown by an undead woodlands predator is an entirely different story. Need help verbally trashing your opponent? Let the colorful lumberjacks of Log Jammers do it for you. They've been fine-tuning and tweaking Log Jammers to make sure it jams as hard as they want it to. Fans have been provided some awesome feedback at conventions, and Log Jammers has already garnered some awards. They're thanking people for their enthusiasm and support. And what's interesting is that they are also going to be utilizing on PC the Razer Chroma keyboard. It says here that they've implemented Chroma in a variety of engaging ways to take the game to the next level. Enhance your jam sessions with an immersive and reactive light show as you play the game, if you're actually playing it on PC. So that's actually really neat. Are you going to pledge this? Do you want it on the NES?
I am a little disappointed I didn't know about this sooner.
Why is that?
Because the edition I would have wanted to pledge to is sold out.
Which one is that?
It's called Wood Hard for collectors, and it's an actual handcrafted wooden NES cartridge that works in the Nintendo.
Okay. Is that the only... So unfortunately, is that the only...
35 of them.
And that's
the
it?
only one. It's not the only one I would want to get in on. I mean, there's a $60 version that comes with a physical copy.
Okay.
Or a $70 version that comes with the whole box. But I want to play this no matter what. And they're going to make it. I only got 3 days to go. They need another, $1,000. They'll be fine.
Yeah, so that's why I picked this one, because literally it's coming to a close here. They're sitting at $18,228 of their $20,000 goal. Yeah, so what, just under $1,800. So I'm pretty sure they'll make it. It would be crazy. It would be absolutely crazy if they didn't actually to make this. And funny enough, the developers of this game, Mega Cat Studios, I have met the developers at this studio. I have met these guys. When Jessica and I went to GDEX in 2016, they were one of the studios that was actually there. So we've actually chatted with the team over at Mega Cat Studios.
I think these guys were actually at Long Island Retro Gaming Fest as well.
They're based out of Pittsburgh, so there's a good chance.
I was going to say, they're from Pennsylvania. Okay, so
yeah,
okay.
they're based out of Pittsburgh, so there's a good chance that they might have been there. But yeah, they made the drive over to Columbus.
I even think I saw this game being played, to be quite honest.
Probably. Yeah, it's been one of their major ones that they've been obviously trying to promote. So, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. So that's why I wanted to give a little bit of love to them, give a bit of love to the game as well. So yeah, Mega Cat Studios is the name of the team, and they're good dudes over there. We did have a good chat with those guys. We tried to talk with every studio that was there. There were a couple that I couldn't actually get a chance to talk to. That was the first major thing we did for Love It On Games after we opened up, and that was only 2 months after opening the doors for Love It On Games. Wow. So that was when I had no clue what I was doing. But
that was LDG Prime.
That was me in my infancy and not knowing exactly what I should be doing. But I think it worked out for the best, and we got some good coverage out of it. We got some good stuff, and we met some cool people and some good friends. Which some of them I'm still in contact with on social media to this day, so it's pretty neat. But yeah, no, so shout out to them. Hopefully Logjammers does meet its goal with 3 days to go, and there's a good chance that it will. I hope that it does. Thanks for checking out a portion of the Max Level Podcast. If you enjoyed what you just watched, be sure to click that subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment down below. If you're interested in checking out the Max Level Podcast in its uncut entirety at 9 a.m. every Monday morning, be sure to subscribe on either iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. We'll see you next time.